Alright, what's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a low taper fade for y'all, or a low taper. Really, it could be anything. It could be called anything for a low taper or a low taper fade between the two. But, you know, in certain places they have different names for it. But we're just going to be cutting everything down. He does have dreads at the top. So we're going to cut all this excess bulk. Setting our guidelines, easy, simple guidelines that anybody should be able to understand, that anybody could do these processes. We're going to set in the back tape and everything and show y'all the line of process, line of prep, line of process, and we ain't going to really hold y'all too long. We're about to get straight into the video. Before we get to the video, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, and make sure y'all subscribe. Comment HYB in the comments if y'all, you know, made it this far. You don't want to skip through these steps. We need these steps. But we're going to get straight into the video. Alright, since he has dreads at the top and he does have a low taper, or he's getting a low taper, you don't want to just start cutting the hair immediately. What we're going to do, we're going to start combing all of this excess hair down and separating, basically to separate the dreads from the sides that we're going to blend. You can obviously take it from, you can take it all the way from his skin and go all the way up until his dreads and then press down right there, and any hair below that, you just cut it out. Just to, you know, because a lot of people might be scared to, you know, cut dreads because they think they're going to cut into it. But this right here ensures that all the hair that's with the dreads stays with the dreads, and then everything below that, you know, you could just comb it down. So you want to make sure you comb all this hair out and cut everything down to your desired length. Anything between a 1 guard, and a 1.5 guard. These are the 2 guards that I use whenever somebody has dreads or braids or twists or anything like that. Okay, what would dictate what I cut his hair down with? We're gonna use this 1/2 guard. But what would dictate the length is how thick and bulky it looks whenever I cut the hair down. Obviously, this right here is a little bit too thick, this 1.5 guard. So we're gonna move down with our 1 guard all the way closed, the level all the way closed, and we're just gonna cut everything down. And this right here should be a nice, good foundational length so we can start making our guidelines and start setting in them lines for that, you know, for that nice looking taper that we want. Now we're going to start setting in our guidelines for our taper. And what I like to do, I like to set in all the guidelines first, but I do like to work in sections. Working in sections make it easier, make the fade process easier. It makes it easier to where, you know, you can manage the fade, the width, the length, and stuff like that of the taper or the fade, whatever you may be doing at the time. And then it's easier to work in sections and make both tapers identical to each other, or this form or method that I'm using. So basically, for our taper, we're going to give it a slight circle type effect or a bursted type effect. We're not going to go up too high. Just like that. Same exact thing, same exact shape. And for this side, I'm using the corners of my blade. The reason why I'm using the right corner of my blade, so I don't accidentally cut all this hair that we got to preserve for the C-cup area that comes with the low taper. Low tapers should always have a C-cup. The only way, I see a lot of people when I post on Instagram, a lot of people think that high tapers need a C-cup. But only low tapers need a C-cup, and high tapers physically just go straight down. But the reason why you want to preserve this area over here is so you can have a successful lineup or a successful C-cup area right here. So it's good that you use or you utilize your corners of your clipper blades. You don't want to use the whole blade because you're going to wind up cutting all into hair, and you do not want that to happen. Now for the back area, notice for the back area, it's that, you know, he has physical hair that's right here, that goes down to right here, but it's bald in this area. He has slight hair that's right here, and he has no hair right here, and then he has slight hair right here. So what we're going to take it up to the thickest point, which would be right here. And then what we can do, just for this hair shape or just for this back taper, this is what we analyze the taper at. We're going to slightly curve it, making it like a 1/2 moon. And the reason why we want to do this as well, or is helpful, because doing it in a circle shape or a 1/2 moon, it also brings out the vertical bars that you will be setting in the back. You have to figure out how to work with each client's head shape, each client. You know, every taper isn't going to be the same. Every burst fade, every fade isn't going to be the same. That's where it takes, so you have to take an initiative to kind of learn and be a sponge of, you know, learning from other people and getting all this good information. For the taper, when I'm working on this side, I'm using this left side of the clipper blade. When I'm working on this right side, I'm using the left side of my clipper blade. I'm not using this right side because I want to cut something that I obviously do not want to cut. But we're starting with the level all the way open for our second guideline, and then slowly working our way down. Within my process, or within my fading steps, within my down fading steps, this is the only process where you will actually see me moving up instead of down. First, I move up and then I fade down, and then every other step I continue, or every other guard that I place on my clipper, I start to move down. Because I know I cut everything down with the one guard, everything above the one guard area, all the hard spots to go against the grain, I'll debulk basically with my 1.5 guard all the way closed. So all this hair will be debulked, making the blend a lot more smoother with this 1.5 guard. And then after that, you want to start working your way down. So we're about to take our one guard all the way open. Every time we start, the level will be all the way open. Every time we have on a new guard. And I do like using a comb for this area because the hair is a lot more thicker. And we're just slowly closing the level, fading down. You don't want to apply too much pressure to your client's head. Just basically just let the clippers do what they're going to do. And then you want to slowly close it to all the way closed, or until you get the level to all the way closed. You could detail, but for this particular hair texture, which I'm about to show y'all after this, now we're going to move on to our half guard, level all the way open, and just slightly take out this line that we made with our second guideline that we had set in. And that was with the level all the way open. We're kind of just level playing. Level playing is basically just moving the level up and down basically till you get, you know, what you need and fade it out, fade it out. And now, how we detail for this area, we're going to do our rake down technique. Our rake down technique is basically the level all the way open, turning your clipper upside down, and basically going with the flow of the taper. Going with the flow of the taper. It is somewhat about pressure as well. You don't want to apply too much pressure. Just let the clipper do what it has to do. Alright, notice on this side, his hair kind of wants to flow this way. It's not going just straight down. It has to, so with that being said, with it flowing this way, you obviously want to comb the hair as it grows, or it wants to lay. But on the left side, we're going to use the right side of the clipper blade. And y'all, I leave everything in here. I don't cut anything out for real. So that's a good thing about my channel. It is what it is. It'll come with growth and repetition process of me doing it over and over and over again. Hopefully through the years, you know, as well as y'all seeing y'all's, you know, work evolve from watching my page. Y'all will see my, I guess, me talking and stuff like that. Y'all will see me evolve as well. That's the goal. Because I'm basically just documenting my journey and everything that I've physically learned up to this point. Because I'm 3 years in. I'm 3 years in, but I put in a lot of work, bro. I put in a lot of work to get where I'm at today. So everything that I physically learned, I'm just showcasing it to y'all. And I do feel like I have the ability to be able to teach or to simplify things so people can, you know, understand it a little bit more. Because man, I know I was watching a lot of videos when I was, you know, first starting off, and they're using shears. I'm getting the same exact haircuts, you know, on straight hair, but I watch somebody do straight hair and they use all these different shear techniques and all this different crazy stuff, and it just physically just did not make any sense to me. So I'm bringing y'all work, or a lot of people have a lot of washed down, you know, content. I'm bringing y'all stuff in a more simplified way, breaking everything down so y'all can understand. Because I'll do a rake down technique and I'll create a whole line for real. Or it wasn't working for me at first, and then I kind of took a break from it, and then I came back, and then it finally just worked. Hopefully I can see the angle of the haircut that I got y'all in, and my elbow isn't in the way. Hopefully. And for the back taper, we do not switch up everything. It's the same exact process. Same exact process, same exact steps. is the side tapers. That's the good thing about this, about my system. You can use it on any type of hair texture and you don't have to switch up what you're doing. It's all the same exact stuff. When you use the same exact stuff, you kind of know what you're looking for, or kind of could just jump in it. If you have the idea of the goal or the vision, you see the vision of what you want to achieve, you already know how you're going to achieve it, the system of how you're going to achieve it. So basically that just comes, or it just boils down to, have you done the haircut before, or have you faded in this shape or this kind of size or whatever. This fade right here, it's the same exact fade as any burst fade or fade all the way around or drop fade or anything like that, but I'm just fading in this area. It's the same exact system, but I'm just using a different shape and I'm just fading in this small little area right here. That's basically what it sums down to. It's really just that simple. It's all about perspective, bro. When you look at things in a different perspective or take a certain perspective on something, you can make it either like easier or hard for yourself. It's just about how you look at the goal or the opportunity or whatever, you know, it may be. Same exact stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this taper come together. And my clippers don't die. Y'all, I really like these walls. I use these walls all day, every day, for almost every single client. Even though I got like a whole bunch of clippers. I'm about to switch to my other clippers real quick. Let me see. Yeah, these are my other wall scenes. I had just fixed these today. Just put a new blade on them. Fix the motor on the inside and stuff like that. I love wall seniors. Wall seniors just never fail. I would say that. Wall seniors is reliable. It makes it harder on the newer people or the newer people trying to learn for real, because they do not have a clipper yet. I don't think so. With a click lever system. And that makes it harder on, you know, people that's just getting into barbering or trying to learn. But I feel like these are the most reliable clippers. I don't care what nobody says, and then it cuts just as good or even better than most of the clippers that's popular today. Obviously, I haven't tried no Stylecraft. I would love to see what Stylecraft has in store, but I have a pair of Babyliss and stuff like that. Like I have these baby blue ones. They don't really work as good, but you know, I might just have the wrong pair. Some clippers come defected already out of the pack, and that's the sad part about it. I might have a defective pair, who knows? But the blade just doesn't seem like it cuts. You know? Left all the way open. Click at this line. And y'all just really watch this whole entire back taper just come together. And wall seniors are the only clippers that I know that can physically do this break down technique with no problem. Let me get my other comb. I like using the comb now. I don't know why, but I feel like it makes the blend better whenever you use a comb over a brush. Because a brush, you know, a brush lays the hair down, and a comb actually lifts the hair from up off of the scalp. And we're just detailing, just slowly detailing, making sure everything is coming together. And as y'all can see, this is a nice back table. What we're gonna do, we're gonna start detailing with our corners. Because with the rake technique, if you take it down too much, you will create a line. And basically in these higher areas, this is basically a little cheat code so I don't go back to my guards. And the guards in the places where I use like the 1 guard and the 1.5 guard, I'm basically tilting and lifting my clipper up, not just holding on the head, basically tilting. The only part that's touching the client's head is this one. I'm not physically doing this, I'm physically doing this, and this basically creates a self 1 guard for me, or 1 guard for myself while I'm detailing. So I don't cut too much hair off in, you know, the 1 guard area. Because this is physically meant for the half guard section so you can detail with it. Now I'm about to do the back lineup area. You don't want to dig too deep in there because you don't want a crazy amount of overgrowth. So you kind of want to angle it so it has that nice little curvature, I would say, to it. So I would say I started like right behind the ear. And I would say start it right there. Just so it can have a nice curve to it and still would give off that sharp, curvy effect. And it's really just that simple. And these clippers work so good. These probably one of my favorite clippers, I would say. A tutorial is coming for these. Kind of just seeing how they, how they work at first. And for the neck area, I do want to tell y'all what you had done for me. Y'all want to make sure these two parts right here are identical or evenly enough space, just so the back taper could look nice and kind of flush, just so you can get that nice crisp, clean taper look that you want. Okay, so for the lineup, what you want to do, you kind of want to dictate what side is the strong side and the weak side. And what you might ask is, what is the strong side and what is the weak side? A weak side is basically a part in the lineup where less hair grows, and the strong side would be the most dominant part, or where the hair grows a lot. So as you can see for our client, a weak side would probably be in the middle right here. The middle is probably the weakest, or he kind of has hair that grows right here and then it kind of disappears right here, and then it starts to grow down and stuff like that. So really, you want to pick where the line is thickest and fullest at, which will probably be right here, so I can make a successful straight line. And you just want to pick whatever side, because whatever corner I go to, it's still a strong corner regardless of the fact, because our client doesn't have any weak corners on either side of his hair. Alright, so the first thing that you would like to do, alright, this will save you a lot of trouble. Make sure the client, whenever you're putting the hair up, or if your client has dreads or anything like that, make sure it's not pulling his scalp back or too tight to it's pulling his scalp back. Make sure it's nice and laid and they have a lot of slack within it. When you line up somebody and their hair is pulled back like that, it tends to lift up their skin, and so when you take their hair out at the end of the cut, now their lineup is all wobbly and stuff like that, just because you had it so tight when you put the hair up. So you want to make sure all the slack is in there, make sure it's loose, nicely comfortable laid and stuff like that, and then you want to start. Go to our designated spot and make sure the trimmer is straight. Make sure you're making a straight line. Make sure this first line is straight, and then everything below that, you just remove it. And boom, this is our foundation for our lineup. Now, this is what it looks like. So now you want to work to your comfortable spot, or to the weak side, and then the strong side. Our client doesn't have a specific weak side, so we're just going to work to the side that we feel most comfortable on. And a lot of lineups go wrong. Y'all might make this one line, but you're using the whole blade when working to a certain side. I was just explaining to one of my friends, he's also a barber in Texas. I'm only using half of my blade to continue the lineup to a certain side. The right side of my blade when I'm working on the right side, and the left side of my blade when I'm working on the left side. If I was to not split the blade in half and work like that, let me zoom in so y'all can see. And if I was to continue right here, I don't know what I'm doing. The blade could be angled this way or that way, but this kind of ensures working in small increments of a space. This ensures that I'm continuing from this straight line that I previously set in, and just working in small little sections, making sure the lineup is straight. Take a step back, make sure we're going in a straight line, looking at our client. Go back in. Create another little line, continuing from our previous thing. If it's slightly going down, I can start to angle it up just a little tiny bit. Step back, look at it, and I'm working to right here, to where that vertical bar is. Keep making my way over. Take a step back, look at it from the front, see if that's straight. Keep going over. And I just need to keep going over just a little bit more, about right there, and that's good enough. But now I want to make sure that the lineup is straight. Tilt my clipper just a little bit to where this and this could meet. And I am slightly tilting this just a little bit, so I can get that straight boxy look whenever my client turns and faces the front. Well, whenever he looks at himself from the front. If you don't slightly angle your clipper blade, it's going to make your client look like his lineup is going in and then making that straight line. And then we cut all this off. And this gives us that straight boxy look that we want. And as y'all can see, these clips are very, very, very sharp, very, very good. Put your head up just a little bit. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. We just take it and we kind of match just both sides. Give you all a better angle. Making this left side identical to this right side. Tip the head down a little bit. And you do want to adjust your client's head. You don't want it coming out. You got to see where this lands at right here. Right here on the edge of his eyebrows. So obviously, this one will end on the edge of his eyebrows as well. So you can notice, go back in, fix our errors. Because you don't want to do the whole entire lineup and not take a step back and look at everything just to see if you need to fix something or not. Because then you're going to wind up messing up the whole entire lineup. And you don't want that to happen. Whenever y'all are setting in this line right here, it's just this simple. Use half your blade, create that first indent, look at it from the front, see if it's that boxy shape that you want. And then slightly take your clipper or the end of your blade and just create a curvature for the C-cup area and just make them meet. And then everything below that, you just cut it off. So basically what we're about to do, we're about to sit here, we're about to add the pencil. So you can see his lineup is sharp, crispy. The pencil just gives it a pop. So this is our first layer of enhancements. I didn't add no enhancements yet. This is our first layer of enhancements. And it's the pencil, and we're gonna lightly press the pencil on the client's skin. And just go on a perimeter of his line, not touching his line or anything like that. And we're just lightly spraying, not really spraying too much, because we do want it to blend in with the client's skin. We just want to give it a slight pop. We don't want to make our client look silly with black spray everywhere and now his lineup is dark and we don't want to do that to him. So we're just gonna lightly spray it. Alright YouTube, so this is the cut right here. A nice clean taper, a nice cut. And y'all watch the whole entire process. I'm gonna do a nice spin around for y'all. Just trying to make sure y'all can see everything. And then we're gonna get a nice little zoomed out version of it for you. Hold your head slightly down for me. Right there. This is nice, this is clean. Anybody can do that as long as y'all follow these steps. I didn't add no extra steps or anything like that. Let me zoom in for y'all so I can see it. But look, it's HYB. If you're not handling your business, then what you doing? Look at that. If you're not handling your business, then what you doing? And we out. Nice, clean, sharp, boxy lineup. That's what y'all want to see, huh? No? Yes? No? This is the type of tutorial y'all want to see? The next level look or the next level cut for real? Look at that. I can zoom all the way in. It don't matter. I'm showing all the blend. My thumbnail gonna look exactly like how the blend looks. A lot of people, they like buff up their thumbnails or like edit their thumbnails. We don't do that on this channel. We don't do it. Put your head down for me. Exactly how my thumbnail looks, that's exactly how the cut looks. Look at that. It's all about being truthful, bro. Truthful to your work. Truthful to your work.